The first management that we have on the show, polymedicure. Well, the numbers look quite good. They're delivering good growth as well as margins holding steady. To help us out with further details, we're joined by Mr. Himanshu Baid, the MD of the company. Hi, Himanshu. Good day and good to see you in. It's been a long while since we chatted, but good to see that the financial performance as well is improving. Tell us more. You know, the last quarter you've grown by close to 20%. Break it up for us. How was the domestic growth? How much was the export growth?
So, thank you, Nigel. And I think, exports have been doing well, and especially our European business has been growing very steadily. You've seen a growth of around close to 40% there in Europe. And India has grown by around 18%. So we are little, concerned about India growth. So we are trying to push now, more stronger growth in India. So, and there's two new divisions which we have launched in last year, which is cardiology and critical care. I think that will help us to grow that business stronger. So hopefully, I think both the businesses in the current year should grow at the same pace. So again, we have maintained a guidance of 22 to 24% for this financial year also for the top line.
Top line grows by 22 to 25% for FY25. What about the margin outlook? You know, some input costs have gone up, but what can you maintain out there? You'll get the benefit of operating leverage. So tell us more.
So I think on the operating leverage, we would see a margin expansion of around 100 to 150 pips. And that's what we see. So we are maintaining our EBITDA guidance of close to 26 to 28%. So we are seeing a good margin expansion already. And plus, once we get into these more critical care products and cardiology products, we will see also from that side some margin expansion. And as our foray into US, other markets continues to increase, the business continues, and we'll see some that also playing out. So I think we are very confident of that 150 pips expansion easily.
Okay, so 100 and 150 bips margin expansion in the current year. And Mr. Baid, you said 22 to 25% top line growth this year, right?
22 to 24%, yes.
22 to 24%. Okay, got that. Just give us, some idea about how your renal business is expanding, because there, in our last conversation, you did mention that you're likely to touch, 130, maybe even 140 crores in the current year. So where are you now and what are the plans there?
So I think the good news is the business is back on track. And last year we suffered because of, imports coming from China and they were dumping in the market. But as the industry has got regulated from 1st October 2023 and the BIS standards are in place, so that is actually really helping us to win back the customers. So hopefully we are very confident now and we are seeing that growth already happening. So this year, last year we did close to 90 crores in renal business. So this year we're expecting to close around 140 to 150 crores.
Okay, all right, 140, 150 crores. What about the United States? That's been the trigger. I think we've been speaking for last few quarters as well. Approvals coming in. That's a big opportunity, but yet to scale up. For FY25, how much does it contribute FY26? You could give us a trajectory because that's going to be important.
So, Nigel, US, we have already received 4 FDA approvals. We have also got all the contracts in place. Our first shipments are going as we speak to the US. And I think once, the first products go out and they are fully, let's say, approved in all the hospitals, I hope that the scale up will happen faster. So I think next 2 to 3 quarters, we'll see the scale up happening in the US. But I think the most important heavy lifting was getting all the approvals in place and getting the contracts in place. I think that is the major part of the work which is done. Now it's more on the sales side, on the production side, and we're already gearing up for that. So I think we are in the right direction and we still maintain our guidance that, let's say next 3 years, we should be doing more than, let's say, 15 million revenue in the US.
Okay, got that. Mr. Baid, you just mentioned that the kicker for the India business should come from cardiology. It should come from critical care. So just tell us about investments. Will you be investing more on these lines? And, what is your expectations of a scale up on these businesses as you target that up to 24% growth this year?
So I think for us, most important part I would talk about is renal business. So renal business, we are seeing a good growth trajectory, and I think that trajectory will continue. So I think This year also we're looking at, let's say, 50 to 60% growth, and following years also we will see a similar growth trajectory. And we have not even looked at outside India this business, because Polymed is primarily an export-driven company. We have 2/3 revenue coming from exports. So I think that business will open up also for us. And I think Renal will see that 2-3 years of good growth cycle. And we are investing more in expanding our capacity. Similarly, in critical care and cardiology, also we are making very sizable investments in capacities. And hopefully, we will see those results. So this year also we have a capex plan close to 225 to 250 crores of capex, which we have already planned to grow the business. And hopefully next couple of years will taper down a bit. But I think that's the flow we are seeing right now.
And how are you funding the capex for this year? What are the cash levels and how do you fund it?
So we have 150 crores of net cash in the company right now. And also, we have taken approval from the board to raise additional funding in the company, 800 crores. We took an approval in March. So we are also seeing some inorganic opportunities, though of course nothing is finalized till now. But that's the plan, because we are also looking to bring more technology into the country. And I think there's a lot of possibilities now opening up for us. Because as the size increases, we can also buy a little, bigger. So that's what we're looking at.
Okay, and just to confirm this, this 800 crores will be via equity, if in case you get the right fit?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. All right. And what about this inorganic opportunity? How large could the size be? And also, Mr. Baid, we're speaking after a while. I think most of the industry is unorganized, right? Gradually the organized market is moving up. So give us the industry size and what is the split right now according to your estimates?
So I think India is close to around, when we look at the market size, between 12 to $15 billion, and which is like 6-7 billion imports. Then we have around $3 to $4 billion exports, and we have almost 5 billion of local production in the country. So that is the mix right now in the market. And fairly, the 80% market is dominated by smaller players, MSME sector. So there are only very few large players in the sector. You can see we are the only listed company in the segment, from last so many years. So I think we are seeing now with new deals happening recently in the medtech sector, the segment will grow faster. And I think India market itself will expand faster, because as we are seeing the healthcare sector growing at a very fast pace now in India, I think, and we are one of the wheels of the sector. So I think automatically we'll see medtech also growing. And I think we are in a good shape as a company in terms of what we do. And we'll see quite a significant growth coming from India as well as from the export markets.
Interesting. And the size of the acquisition could be what? Since 80% is from SME, it puts you in a good position.
See, we are looking at more opportunities outside India, because, medtech is more on technology side. And we want to look at more, like we acquired a company in Italy in 2019, which was an oncology space, and that started doing well. And I think we are looking at businesses around that space, our core area of infusion, oncology or renal or cardiology, which are new critical care business. So we're looking business, companies in that area segment, which will help us to get better.
Okay, and so we'll hear something in the first half of the year?
I'm not sure. I can't tell you anything, Nigel, right now, but definitely once we are ready, we'll let you know for sure.
We'll keep our ears to the ground and try to pick up something then. Mr. Baid, you're sounding quite confident. We'll hold you on these numbers. Growth of around 20% upwards. Margins improve by around 100-150 basis points. And the verticals that you gave us as well. The inorganic big is going to be quite interesting. So we'll hold you at that. Wishing you a good rest of the day ahead. Well, let's welcome our next guest.